guys? Action Fear Addict 112 here, and we are going to be taking a look finally at the Sentinel Toys Miles Morales from Into the Spiderverse. So, I just finally got my Sentinel Toys Miles. I got them this morning, actually, because GameStop called me yesterday night, saying that they got them in, but I wasn't able to get them last night, so I waited until this morning, went up there, picked them up, paid off the rest of it, and I ended up messing around with them for a little bit, and then I had to go to work. And now that I am back in the Skull Asylum, I can finally sit here and take a look at the Smiles. So I've seen a lot of people already get him. Everyone's already reviewed him and already got their thoughts in on him, but now it's my turn to do so. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Sentinel Toys with this release, and it makes me really glad that I picked this version over the Mafex one, or the Mafex one. So yeah, if you watched my Peter B. Parker review, you already know my thoughts on Into the Spider-Verse and how much I love it. So that's also going to reflect on the Smiles. I love the way that they tackled Miles' character. And I kind of knew his origin story, even though I never read any of the Bendis comics. I knew his origin story before Into the Spider-Verse, so but I really like the way that they tackled his character. It's just really cool that all the characters kind of had their issues, and their arcs kind of went full circle. And it's just really cool, and has me excited for the second movie that's supposed to be coming out, I think next year is what they said. I think that's what they said, or maybe it was this year, maybe it's next year, I can't remember. They're pumping out too many movies for me to even remember that. Anyway, I was really anticipating getting this guy because after seeing all the pictures and just now seeing Strident's pictures that he put up on his Instagram of this dude, it had me really excited, because I knew that I made the right choice, because in terms of the paint sculpt, accessories, and especially his articulation, it's just a wrap. You know what I mean? Like it just cannot go toe to toe with the Mafex one. So yeah. With that being said, we're gonna take a look at the paint sculpt, accessories, articulation, and some comparisons with some figures, and then my final thoughts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the Sentinel Toys Miles. Okay, so let's talk about Miles paint and sculpt. So I'm going to cover the paint first, because there is a QC issue in terms of the sculpting on my Miles, and I didn't notice that until take number 4063. Excuse me. So in terms of the paint on this figure, it's beautifully done. There's not a single lick of paint on here that's poorly applied. I mean, the red on the arms, that kind of add those little edges or lines onto the center of the chest. It's really nice. The graffitied logo is really cool. The hands are really nicely painted. The little embossed webbing as well is really nice. And then flipping on the back, you can see the spider logo on the back. You can see there's those embossed webs on his calves, and then they go onto the feet. It's really nice. And then his soles are painted red. It's just all really nice, and I love the eyes. This was something that the MoffX one didn't do. They actually added, see that? They added the little blue around the eyes, and that's what it looked like in the movie. It's fucking awesome. They did that. See it? Now you can see right there. So we'll talk about the sculpt now, because pretty much covered the paint portion of this. What in the fuck is that? Like, come on, man. It's like, as of recently, I've been having bad luck with import figures. The Major Makoto I bought had a QC issue, and now the Smiles that I've been literally waiting fucking months for has a QC issue right there. Like, the fuck, man. Come on, Sentinel. Come on, guys. So that sucks. PSA, if you did get this guy, double check it, make sure that everything's good to go, and if there's issues, try to reach out to whoever you ordered it from, because that's, yeah, that fucking sucks. But in terms of the mesh detailing on the suit, it's gorgeous. It really captures the Spider-Man suit. It kind of reminds me of the Raimi suit, because the Raimi suit had this kind of mesh detailing. So that's awesome. And it feels like, yeah, it feels like a Spider-Man suit. I love how big the eyes are sculpted, the big old bug eyes. And the kind of lining on the eyes too. Really nicely done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to zoom in to capture that or not. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Look how beautiful that is. It's fucking gorgeous. Just like the eyes, man. That's the thing, man, with the Spider-Man figures. You gotta, if you don't get the eyes right, then it throws off the whole figure. I swear, man, I'm telling you, I gotta fight this fucking camera sometimes, man. Let's talk about this, because I've seen a lot of people had issues the way his body's built, particularly his neck. I think he's built perfectly fine. I mean, this is how he was built in the movie. This was kind of the build for everyone. Like, even Gwen had kind of, thin proportions for her legs and her arms. I think the only one that didn't really have that was Peter B. Parker, because he's an adult and he's got a different build, man. He's got the dad bod, so obviously he's gonna be built a little bit different. But yeah, I think the build's fine. I've heard some people complaining about the neck, that it's too thin, or it's too stubby, so it makes him look like he has no neck. I think it's fine. I did order the Figure Fix neck pegs, so I have those just in case, something happens to this one. I have a backup one to replace it. So, it's just in case. Maybe I'll switch it out, maybe I won't. I'll just have to see what it looks like in person, but I think it looks fine. He's built like a teenager, or he's got a young adult build, so it makes sense. Like, he's not super muscular, but he's, not super thin. So, yeah, I mean, it works, man. This is how he was built in the movie. So, if you're not feeling it, then, it is what it is. But I really like how well done the sculpt work is, besides this. Like, this up here is just that little scratch. It's kind of the fuck, man. But besides that, everything else is really nicely done, and I'm very impressed. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. Okay, so we're back, and we're going to be taking a look at his accessories now. So this is everything that he comes with. I shit you not, this is everything you get with Miles. This was one of the main reasons why I was like, holy shit, yeah, I need to jump on this Sentinel version, because, I mean, this this is how the fuck it should be done. When it comes to import figures, everything you see in the movie is pretty much here. So that's fucking awesome. And you don't get all this shit with the Mafex one. You do get soft goods with that one, but I mean, like, this shit here, this is, if you're wanting like a true movie accurate Into the Spiderverse Miles, this is as good as it's gonna get. Let me see where I want to start. Okay, I think we'll start from the top here, and we'll move down. So you do get a set of extra shoes. Now these are going to be the Air Force ones that he wore in the movie. Obviously, they do not have the Nike swoosh logo on it because, Nike would have fucking jumped the price up on this figure if it actually had the swoosh logo. So yeah. But besides that, these are pretty accurate to the Air Force ones that not only Miles wore in the movie, but the Air Force ones that Nike actually sold. The Miles Morales Air Force ones. So yeah, they're pretty accurate. If you'll notice, there's a little peg on the inside here. I'm gonna show you in a little bit what that's for, but I mean, look how fucking clean this is. Look, even has the stitching on the sides that wraps all around the sole. You have the black and red right there. You have the black laces right down the front. I mean, this shit is clean, man. And then, for you people complaining about articulation, this moves. So, I mean, they engineered this shit correctly. And of course, it has the toe hinge. So, and on top of that, look at this shit. You can't tell me this shit isn't an Air Force One. Like, these are legit J's without the Nike logo. I mean, that is the soul of some J's. So, that's fucking awesome. So, you get a set of those. You get the mallet right here, which I'm going to hold in my pliers here. Yes, I did. I pulled these out because there are some some of these items are just gonna be way too small for me to show my gigantic ass hands. See if I can get this shit to focus on this. Okay, there we go. So, well, probably don't need these to show this. That's probably why. There you go. So yeah, this is the Spider-Ham mallet that he used for like 3 seconds in the movie, but it's pretty cool that they gave it to you. It's sculpted to look like a cartoony hammer, and I like it. It's really fucking cool that they even included this. I mean, it's such a out there accessory, but wow, as I fucking dropped it, wow. And shit starts to fall on the floor. Great. Yeah, this shit looks really nice. Let me move some shit real quick because I'm fucking up here. There we go. So, yeah, it's really cool. It's like really nicely sculpted and painted like a... It's wanting to focus on everything else. Fuck's sake. Okay, maybe it's because I'm too... No. There we go. So yeah, you can see it a little bit better now. So yeah, it's really nicely sculpted. So yeah, so you get that. You get the J's, we already talked about that. Alright, let's see what else we could tackle here. These I'm gonna actually use the pliers for. These are fucking awesome. These are a pair of, if I remember correctly, they're some type of Sony headphones. It's wanting to focus on everything else. There we go. So it's a pair of Sony Bluetooth headphones, and I mean, look how nicely painted this shit is. Look at that shit. They even painted the little metal screws, painted the mesh foam on the inside. This shit is nice, man. I mean, that is fucking detail. The only thing it's missing is a little Sony logo, but again, licensing, you can't get everything. But this is awesome, because if you remember watching the movie, in the beginning, he was jamming out to Sunflower by Post Malone, and at the end of the movie, he was jamming out to it too. So that's awesome. It's really fucking cool. Really cool accessory. Alright. This one here. Let's see if I can get this shit to focus on this. Okay, I finally got it to focus on this. So it is super, super tiny, but I got it to focus. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's got the Expectations graffiti art from the movie, and it has like his dad calling him, and it's like a answer decline on there, and it's like really tiny, but that's so fucking cool that they did that. And the camera even has a little camera on the front there, so that's awesome. So yeah, it's a small phone, but I love when companies do that, because they did it. Figma did it with their Diva, their Figma Diva, which I need to re-review that figure because I wasn't too content with the review I did on her. And then Mofex gave Gwenpool a phone as well, so that's awesome. I hate that it took me 5 minutes to get that shit to focus on that, and you can see how I had to zoom in on that shit just to get that to focus. But anyway, let's take a look at the heads. So we'll take a look at the unmasked head because this was another issue that people had this figure. Now, I've heard people say this does not look like Miles. Either y'all weren't watching the movie or like y'all are tripping, because this looks exactly like Miles in the movie. I mean, he's got the little afro going on. I mean, that is spot on to what he looked like in the movie. So I like it. I really like it. It's cool. I'm glad that they actually gave us an unmasked head. So that's awesome. It's really cool. So you get that head, and then you also get this head, which is like it's like a what? So I like that. So it's cool. As I dropped it, where'd it go? There it is. Kind of building a little pile off camera of stuff I already focused on. So let's talk about the hands. I feel like we should talk about those. So as you can see, you get a pair of whipping hands. You get 2 special hands. You get a pair of grabbing hands, but they have holes in them so you can use the web piece. You have a couple of sets of sprawled out hands. You have these hands here, which are, I guess they're like grabbing hands, maybe? I'm not too sure. To be quite honest with you, I'm not too sure what these are. But that's what I can only assume that they are. Are there some type of grabbing hands? But here, maybe get it to focus on. Yeah, there you go. So, but I will say, I'll give Sentinel this. All these hands, they're not sloppily painted. And yet I noticed that on the Mofex one, there were some QC issues with that. So there's that. The special hands here, you get one with a graffiti, a can of spray paint. So this is like his tagging hands, since you know that's kind of his thing in the movie. That's awesome. I mean, look, they even painted the little can. It's fucking awesome. Looks exactly, zoom in here and I focus on Miles. Maybe it'll work. Yeah, there you go. So you can see, look, they even added the little area where the paint comes out. It's awesome. Little nozzle. So that's awesome. And then this hand is for holding the cell phone. I mean, just look how clean the fucking paint is on these. It's awesome. I don't think you can actually take. I don't think you can take these out. Yeah, I think the whipping hands. Pretty sure these are. think they're stuck in there. So these are sculpted in there. So talk about hands. Let's talk about these. So these are the shoelaces. So I was going to come back to these. You know what? I think I'm going to just use Miles back there. Hang on. I'm going to take Miles off camera real quick because I need to show these. Because these are fucking cool. God, this camera, man, it's fucking giving me issues. There you go. So you get two different sets of laces. So you get these where they're all crisp, and then you get a set here where they're kind of all loose, so you can switch between whether you want like clean laces or the loose laces on the J's. And then you get this here, which is a clear web effect. So you can get him to hold it here or hold it there, and it's supposed to replicate him whenever you want him swinging. So it's awesome. And then we get into the interchangeable part. So this right here, these parts allow you to switch Miles into the kind of I call it the full arc part of the movie where he goes to he figures out how to use the Venom strike, and then he goes to Aunt May, and she gives him the web shooters, and then he takes one of Peter's suits and he spray paints it into the suit you see there, and then he has the hoodie and stuff, and then he jumps off the ledge, and there's that really cool scene, and then he starts web slinging through the city, and you can see that he's accepted his role as Spider-Man. It's dope. So when you do get this figure, though, you do get these little parts that connect into different parts. So all of these little nubs here plug into the feet, I think. Is that what it is? No. I think these plug into... No, I think these ones plug into the arms. So these ones plug into the arms, these ones plug into the legs, and then this bar piece is what holds the arms on. So yeah, let me kind of jump over here real quick, and then I'll show you what all that looks like. Okay, so this is what he looks like with the jacket and the shorts on. I didn't put the Air Force Ones on, or the Jordans. I didn't put those on. I probably should have, because it probably would have made this look better, but so this is what it looks like. And then you get two different hood options, the one where the hood's down and the one where the hood's up. So I'll show you that. So there is a little plug on the back of Miles, and that allows you to come in here and yeah, you just plug that little tab in there and it gives you the hooded look, or the hood down look, and then the one where the hood's up. Now, I haven't been able to figure out why I couldn't get mine to stay plugged in. Oh, okay, so it fucking stays plugged in now. Okay, I see how it is. Okay, well, I couldn't get it to fucking stay plugged in earlier, but now, because it's on camera, it wants to act right. So yeah, that's what the hooded look looks like. I don't know why the hood sits up this high, because like if you put his head into the hood, it just looks like that, so you kind of have to mess with the torso a bit, but I mean, it looks cool. My only issue though with this is the way that this jacket is. I wish they gave you another jacket where it sits flush, like it sits straight, because if you can see back here, it's meant to flow, so when you get him into like Spider-Man poses with it on, here, I'll just kind of give you a quick kind of Spider-Man pose. Real quick, you kind of, yeah, there you go. So you can see though, like with it on, see how it kind of, there you go. So you can see, like with the jacket, see how it's flowing right there, and it looks like it's in movement, like he's doing that, or he's falling, like in the movie when he jumps off, his arms like that. Like, see, it works because it looks like it's flowing, but when you have him standing straight up, it looks weird, and it just looks like it's constantly flowing, like an industrial fan is just blowing his fucking jacket for no reason. And then the other issue is with this on, because this is flowing, you can't get his arms to sit flush, so they're always gonna sit like this. You know what I mean? So I kind of wish Sentinel had just included another one of these. That way it would just sit, because like, think about it, right? Let me put this up. So think about it, like say this shit sits flush. Like, you're gonna be able to put the arms down, you can move them however you want, and it's not just gonna sit like that. Something that's cool though is that these little strings that are part of the hoodie, they move. For some reason this one's stuck, so I may need to pop that out and fuck with it in a bit. Oh yeah, there you go. So it moves around. What is that? Oh, I thought it was made of like a bendy material. Okay, I guess I was wrong. But yeah, that's my only issue with this. Kind of wish it didn't have that issue, but other than that, that's pretty much all of his accessories. So I'm pretty content with how that looks. So with that being said, let's get into the articulation section. Okay, so let's get into the articulation with this guy. Let me move my pliers over here because we're done with that. So in terms of the articulation, his head can look up this much with the hoodie on. It can look all the way down, but see how weird that looks with that. It can look side to side. Let me just take that off, because yeah, with the hoodie up you're gonna get less articulation, but with this, you can get his head moving up that much, down that much. He can look to the left, to the right. And he has definite sass because he has the double ball joint, which is nice. His arms can go up this much when they're in the hoodie. They can only go down that much. No elbow cut with these arms, but with the other ones there's a shoulder cut. But you can get rotation in there. You get double jointed elbows, no real rotation in there, and then you get a 360 swivel there. With one diaphragm you can bend this much, you can bend back that much. With both you can get them moving forward that much, back that much, side to side. Get all really nice movement. His legs can kick up this much, they can kick back this much. Splits, no problem. Kind of a rotation. Definitely swivel in there. Double jointed knees, no problem. Can go forward this much, back this much, ankle rocker, and hang on a minute, toe hinge. There you go, forward, and not so much back. So let me take all this off and then show you the articulation with the full suit minus the clothes. Okay, so decided to just break him into some poses for you instead of just going through all that again. Almost forgot, he actually comes with a stand. I haven't really tried it, but I don't think I'm a fan of it just because I'm used to my Moffic stands, and by far one of my favorite stands he uses Kyoto stands. So I'm always used to those, but as you can see, he can get into Spider-Man poses if you want him to get all, well, there you go. So like, if you wanted him to like really get all twisted up and stuff as he's web slinging, I mean, you can do it. Like, say he's going for like he's doing like a flip or something like that. You wanna get him into a flip pose. No issues, man. No issues with Miles, man. I mean, like, you can see right there, he just poses really nicely. Like, you know what I mean? And then if I want him to just, I kind of saw a couple people do this pose, and I think this right here kind of shows like the amount of articulation you're dealing with here. So you know what, say like Miles is, it's kind of stretching, he wants to kind of, get ready for the day. It's kind of stretching, you know what I mean? Like his arms, the movement is there, you know what I mean, for his arms. Oh shit, you can't, fucking hell. So like he wants to kind of, kind of stretch it out, get ready to be, Spider-Man for the day. I mean, this shit right here shows engineering, you know what I mean? And it seems like a lot of import companies are starting to miss out on what that means to properly engineer their figures. Bandai figure arts. But this shit here is awesome. So I have no complaints with the articulation. It's just I have my little nitpicks the um with the what's it called, the jacket. That's about it. Or just those little, that little nitpick. I feel like had they given us just one more, like taking out maybe the mallet and just given us, one more jacket where it's just straight, I think it would have worked out fine. So, but articulation is fucking solid on this guy. It's solid. So let's get into some size comparisons. So let's put him next to his mentor here, the Mafex into the Spiderverse, Peter B. Parker. So you can see they scale really well. So I like that. Here he is next to a figure I actually still need to review. The Figma, what was it called? The Figma Styles Emily with the hoodie. So yeah, still need to review her. But as you can see, they scaled really well. So, if you're mainly a Figma person, this is going to scale really well. Or if you have someone like her where you want to do, a little bit of saving the day, there you go. Here he is next to the, oh no, please don't knock everyone here. Here he is next to the SH Figuarts. Ooh, Chandra's not too pleased there. What's going on there? There you go. So, there he is next to the SH Figuarts, quote unquote Street Fighter 5, but is really Street Fighter 2 the movie, Chun-Li. So there's that. Here he is next to the Jazzwares Legendary Series Drift. And then here he is next to the Mezco 112 Wonder Woman right there. And then here he is next to the one and only. People are falling over. So there he is next to yours truly. There. And then just for the hell of it, because I'm quite content on how this custom came out. Yeah, your boy got back into doing some custom painting again, and the shit kind of turned out fire. So here is Miles next to the straight out the Asylum Darby Allin. Yeah, your boy painted the board, completely repainted the board, repainted the whole half of Darby's face paint there to match my design. So there's that. He's just gonna kind of chill back there. And oh, you know what, because I didn't do a Mafex figure. Oh yeah, I did, but you know what, because I love this figure so damn much. Here he is next to you, and they actually do pop up in the comics, just a grown version Miles, but there is the Sentinel Miles next to the Mafex Gwenpool with her little Thanos plushie. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it for me on this review. Overall, I really like the figure. It does have some issues, and I had the QC issue with him, with the eye being scratched, but I would say that if you can get this guy and you need a Miles, I recommend this one. The amount of accessories you get is fitting for the price. The paint work is really clean on this guy. There's no slop, and he scales really well next to the other Spider-Man figures that you have. So yeah, it's pretty dope. If I knew where the fuck my Gwen was, I would pull her out and compare the two, but maybe I'll just put a picture in the beginning. That way you guys can see how those two scale. But anyway, that's going to do it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and Action Figure Addict 112 out.
Here comes a new challenger! Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!